Yo, welcome to the Stingray Thundercast. I'm your host, Stingray Thunder, and I'm here with the hilarious JESS PEARMAN.
How's it going?
Oh, you can talk over that. That's
okay. Right. Were those real laughs?
They were like applause. Yeah, they were amazing.
It was a sarcastic question.
Yeah, no, they were real. They're inside me.
Okay, that's good.
So anyway, Jess is an amazing comedian. She's gone up at the lounge. She's doing gigs all over Melbourne. Very funny woman. So
no pressure.
No pressure. Yeah. All right. So I got a question for you. Serious question. Mm-hmm. All right. So just say there's a train going along a track, right? You can't stop the train. Mm-hmm. You got the power to change its direction. It's coming to the fork in the road. You can change which way it goes.
Trolley problems. Got it.
All right. So on one rail, there's 5 white people.
I love that you've put ethnicity into it.
Yeah.
Just give the already fucked problem an extra layer.
And on the other rail, there's 1 trans woman. Who do you save?
Look, I'm a quantity person. I'm saving the 5 people.
Oh, that's a bit transphobic, isn't it?
I'm saving the 5 people.
I didn't know.
Do I know her?
No, but I didn't know how you felt about trans people.
Well, that's just an extra layer that you added. You could have said any kind of person.
To be honest, I'd take out
Actually,
the trans
no.
person.
If you said 5 deeply hardened, terrible psychopathic criminals and then 1 saint.
Yeah, I could have
I'm
added.
saving the saint.
I could have.
But I don't know anything about the people because you stupidly didn't put that in the question.
No, but I put
really
the ethnicity and gender.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really a choice in like who you care about more.
Yeah, quantity in this situation.
Quantity. Yeah, it's true. I probably would too.
Yeah, that was underwhelming for you, wasn't it?
No, I got the little clip where I was like, transphobic, and then I'll just cut it off there.
Fuck you.
Dude,
I'm forced to be your friend until I die, so you don't do that to me.
Oh no, that's
good job.
That's how I chop that up. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking well done.
It sells. Goundry's one got like 5,000 views.
Yeah.
On TikTok and shit. And then he tried putting it up on his page and they took it down.
Because algorithms and censorship and shit.
Yeah. But they didn't take mine down.
Right.
Yeah, it was weird. They just have a problem with Jared. It's strange.
That is really odd. Do you reckon it's got something to do with the military past?
I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows when it comes to algorithms these days?
Yeah, no clue.
And internet stuff, it all freaks me out. I remember in the 90s, if you thought that the government was watching you, you were likely to have some sort of neurotic personality disorder. Whereas now, if you don't think the government watching you, you're a bit dumb.
Yeah,
you're
100%,
naive. Yeah.
100%,
It's like it's really strange how those things change.
My thing is, it's like, why do you care? You know, like it's like, all right, so the government's watching you. We all get it. You know, like that Snowden dude came out and said it all, and all these people are like, I don't want them watching me, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That's so fucking bad.
Yeah. I have games with myself, right? I live alone. I've got a cat. I've got to entertain myself somehow. If some dude, it's always a dude. If a dude was to put secret cameras in my house, I could easily make them regret that decision in a very small amount of time.
100%.
But sometimes I like pondering the concept of actually being watched from an authoritarian surveillance point of view. And I like that for the reason that that in itself could make you the most responsible, mature, even productive human. I mean, for the right kind of person, it's sort of like, you know how religious people sometimes behave in a certain way because they believe that they're going to go to hell.
Yeah,
for certain it's sort of that for the non-religious person.
It is.
I'd be.
They just need a new god.
Yeah.
Someone to behave for.
Yeah. But I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it because we're humans and we're feral. And I think if we were given the opportunity to do and say whatever we want all of the time, it would just become carnage.
Oh,
so I think it's good that there's little stops.
Yeah, little things to stop us from going too far.
And it starts with discipline as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's obviously you can go too far with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need religion to be good people.
They do, and I really resent that, because there's some people who believe that if you're not religious, then you have no morality. Yeah. And that's ridiculous, because their morality is conditional in that one of the only reasons that they're being good people is because they're afraid of going to hell. That's worse.
That's so bad.
Be a good person with no reward.
Yeah,
reward.
I had this like Christian boss once, and he came up to me at lunch, and he's like, "So, have you ever thought about going to church?" And I was like, "Nah, not really, bro." And he's like, "Oh man, you know what happens when you go to church? You'll meet a nice Christian woman." And I'm like, "Are you trying to sell church?"
You're like, that sounds shit.
Are you trying to sell a woman from church to me for me going to church? And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, I don't go to church because I don't need a God to be a good person. Yeah. I don't. There's no need for it.
Yeah,
and if like God gets angry at me when I die for not following him my whole life, it's like, I don't want to hang out with that dude anyway.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like if there's a God.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm totally agnostic.
Yeah. Same.
I started, the YouTube algorithms, they know me quite well, but I started listening to this dude. His name's Michael Murdad, right? And he basically looks like he should be in an 80s metal band. Nice. He's got the hair and he's got the jawline. So I'm like, play.
You got to watch that.
And what he says is amazing. And it's actually opened up my just my radar to the possibility that not every single person who's religious is a sort of indoctrinated into it or really hardcore or whatever. He teaches these really interesting concepts that I never thought that my mind would be open to it. Yeah, but my mind's open to it because everything that he says makes sense. And he does use, he's hot, that helps, right? Oh fuck. There's a part of me that I know that's bad. I don't you know when people, well, the Queen just died. There's people who really seriously mourn celebrities and famous people who die.
Do you do that? I don't.
I noticed that I was saddest when Heath Ledger died and when Chris Cornell died. And I went, Jessica, let's unpack this. Why? Because they're sexy and they're talented and they're beautiful men, and I was sad.
Yeah, I struggle to feel sad when like people I know die.
Oh, okay, that's another level.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, the pain's over for them now.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and like a lot of like if someone, I think I cried once when a friend died, and it was like not that long ago.
You're an interesting human.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, well, fuck, where do I start? I mean, that's a loaded question. But for that reason, I find it really interesting if someone mourns the death of someone that they don't know.
Yeah.
And it's usually for some ridiculous reason, like they idolize that person, or maybe on a different level they can see what that person meant to other people maybe. My pain sits with other people's pain. So as an example, I don't want to die for the reason that I know how much that would hurt people in my life that I care about.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah.
No, so it's not me. It's like, well, yeah, my life would be cut short and that's terrible, but my family and friends are going to have a hard time for a long time.
Oh, real?
Yeah, and don't worry, like that's where the pain is. Hey?
Don't worry, I'll be all right.
You'll be fine, and fucking good on you.
I'm playing, I'll cry.
No, you won't. You just admitted you won't.
No,
and you know what?
It was a joke.
No, but start seminars and help our friends and family get over the pain of me dying early. Yeah. That's the best thing that you can do as a good person.
Yeah, all they have to do is...
everything's going to be fine. She was a bitch. Come on.
No, like I'm just like, well, what can you do?
Yeah,
you know, that's my usual headspace. So I'm like, fuck, what can you do?
Yeah, see, I know there's a positive aspect to that, and there's a negative one though. I mean, if how would you even, just to me, it's mind-boggling not to be able to feel pain if someone close to me died. I mean, do you think that's a childhood thing for you? Is it are you like a friendly psychopath?
Maybe. Yeah, I sometimes wonder. Like, I've been checked a lot, but they haven't ever said that. Okay. They've said some things, but like none of it's that bad.
Yeah. Well,
they said I was smart. Like,
okay.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, but like, why? What about all this other stuff? I'm like, we can't really work that out.
I mean, they're still trying to work out humans in general, but from what I remember, psychopathy is when you do awful things to other people. Sorry, I give that about a 2 out of 10. It was disgusting. A pretty good one. Forgive me.
If she burps.
Yes. Thank you for that joke. I still
Inside
use it. Joke. So they do terrible things. It's like they can feel empathy when they want to, but they don't really. And then sociopathy is worse than psychopathy, apparently, because they actually lack the ability to feel empathy at all.
Oh, wow.
And my favourite, they're not my favourite kind of person, but what I can admire in a person is if someone is either a sociopath or a psychopath or a narcissist. So any of these really dark personality types or personality traits, and they see it and they try and do something about it even though they can't feel it. Like, I remember just watching this really interesting, I think it was an SBS show, and this woman was talking about being a narcissist and having to learn how to show empathy to other people, and it's all an act because she still actually doesn't feel it.
Yeah, real.
And she's teaching herself because she doesn't want to be a bad person and she doesn't want to hurt other people. So she's got this nasty ass thing that can't be cured per se, so she has to just build these good habits.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. That to me is a better person than someone who's just intrinsically good.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. No, I kind of have, like, I'm not a psychopath because I like seeing people happy. Yeah. Like, I really like seeing people happy. That's like my favorite. Like, I seen a dude look at, like, we were working on a McLaren at my work. Okay. And like the detailer, he washes the cars. He walked past and he just looked so fucking happy. And like I was jealous. Like, I was like, that is the happiest. But it made me happy, like a little bit jealous. And I was like, fuck. And then I like started worrying. I'm like, don't let anyone take that from you. In my head, like, dude, just fucking like get out of here before my boss like sees you ogling this car. You know, like,
I get it.
I start protecting it. Like when I see people happy, I'm like, keep them happy. Don't let them let them enjoy this. Like, because in my head, I think every time, a lot of the times when I'm happy and someone destroys it, nothing makes me more angry. I feel the exact same.
It's tall poppy syndrome, and it's people going, how can I tear this person down for no reason? Yeah. And I'm very mindful of that stuff. So if I, for instance, you know, in terms of women, I don't know if dudes do this, but women can be quite catty with each other. And if they feel sexually threatened by another woman, then try and tear that woman down.
Yeah, wow.
And if I feel, and it hasn't happened in years because I've just matured, but in the past I've definitely felt sexually threatened by other women. And I would feel those feelings and then make sure that I was nice to her, even if she wasn't that nice to me. Word. I'd make sure that I was nice because it's not her shit, it's my shit.
Yeah, I do that shit. I'm aware of my anger.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very conscious of it, and because of it, like sometimes, like I've got apprentices at work. Sometimes they'll like
they'll like the open micers of the panel beating world,
but they'll fuck up. And it's like doing this, and they've fucked up the same thing a bunch over and over again. And now I want to yell at them. I'm like, what the fuck? But what I do is I like turn it back. I'm like, look, all right, bro. Look, you fucked up a little bit, right? You've stuffed up. I've told you this a bunch of times. Do you want to be a bad panel beater or a good panel beater? Try shoot for good. Just focus. Pay attention, bro, please. But like inside, I want to be like, you fucking little cunt. How many times do I have to tell you?
Self-censorship. It's a good thing.
Oh, I hold in my anger a lot. And like a lot of I have to hold back from what I'm saying on the day-to-day quite a bit.
Right.
Because like I come from like a really kind of ghetto-ish upbringing.
Yeah.
And then the middle class people say things and like I know I can't tell them otherwise. Like I can't just be like, all right, yeah, no, you're wrong. So like I just hold it in. And like there's just like things that I know because of that some people don't, but they like to try and explain it to me a lot. And it's like, and I'm just like, no, just don't get angry.
I think that comes with maturity though, when you're able to pick the battles.
Yeah.
And so if you think that you're being judged by a person who's open-minded enough to actually hear what you have to say, then it's definitely worth having that conversation, because that's how we learn and grow, is we teach people things. I'm learning all the time.
Yeah.
You think you know things and you don't. Every single person you meet knows something that you don't.
Oh, 100%.
And that's what I tell myself when someone really annoying or horrible is speaking to me. I'm just like, there is something in here that you got to teach me.
Yeah, I'm going to learn something from this.
Yeah. I
feel like I know enough, like, at this point. I really want to, and I think I've worked out middle class society as well at this point. Like, it took a while. It's hard, but like I kind of get, in my eyes, I think I get it.
Okay.
You know? Like it's like they're the majority. What they say, they shouldn't need to understand that shit. Like let them have their feelings about it. Like they shouldn't, like if I tell them something, they'll be like, no, it's like this. And it's a majority, so even if I'm right, I'm wrong in that situation. Don't bother. You know it yourself. Just fucking let them have their feelings and thoughts and shit about a situation they know nothing about, and just walk away.
I guess it's worth walking away if you know that explaining it isn't actually going to have any positive effect or positive change.
It doesn't, yeah.
Sometimes it does, though.
Yeah,
but then you don't want to be one of those people who actually gets exhausted because you feel like you're constantly explaining things to people. That would be annoying.
Yeah. And I also don't want to have to teach everybody everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to fucking every time have a discussion about what they're saying that's wrong and shit. It's like, all right, that's just them. Let them work it out themselves. There's something good about finding shit out yourself too, which they'll probably learn one day.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, it's like, who am I to fucking stand in the middle of that fucking projection, you know? Like where they're heading. It's like they might work it out one day. That's good. But yeah, it's not my place to fucking jump them to the end, you know?
Yeah. I guess that the situation would just, I don't know, different situations would call for you saying something or not. I mean, there's what's interesting is that it's easy to have the opinion where you can go, I'll give you an example. If you've got people who are protesting for a certain right and I'm losing my train of thought here. That's right. You just say you're protesting the government about something and you've got your protesters and then you've got a bunch of criticisers about the protesters, right? And the issue is that there's room for all of us and everyone's right and everyone's wrong.
Everyone's got their opinions too.
The protesters are right for the reason that if governments are trying to slowly and incrementally take certain rights away, you need people to dig their heels in to say, no, you can't do that.
100%.
Because it's countless times in history, many governments have just backed people into a corner where they've barely got any rights at all, and then you're getting this fucking totalitarian shit. But then the other people who are judging the protesters are right as well, because it's like, hey, it's actually not that bad. This isn't a dictatorship. What are you doing? And the protesters like, well, we're preventing the dictatorship by doing this. And it's like, you're both right and you're both wrong.
Yeah, fucking A.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
And that's why
That's actually really brilliant of you saying that.
Thank you.
I think that stuff too.
I don't know. It's interesting, having an interesting conversation with a friend of mine where she was discussing a therapy that she wanted to get into, which is incredibly controversial, and I'm not even going to say what it is because it kind of makes me feel sick, right? And she said, I like pondering ideas and I like questioning programs. And she said, you're programmed not to like this therapy. And I went off and said, okay, here's friendly like she's one of my close friends. I went off in a friendly manner because you can do that with your mates. And I was trying to point out, no, okay, here's the error in your thinking. You're thinking that this is a program, and by you going down this therapy, that's an unprogram or whatever.
Yeah, what?
Or a non-program. And I said, no, that's just a different fucking program. It's like, so vaccination, for example, you've got pro-vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, and a bunch of people who think that every single unvaccinated person is a anti-vaxxer, which isn't true.
Yeah.
And also that that anti-vax is anti-programming or whatever. And I'm like, no, if you're an anti-vaxxer and you're at protest and you're trying to get other people to stop being vaccinated, that's a different program. That's not a non-program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's the same shitheads at a different level of extremes.
Different sides of the extreme
and
doing
you
the
both
thing.
fucking piss me off.
Yeah, just what it's like. What is it? There's this mathematician named John Nash, and he came up with this thing called the Nash equilibrium.
Okay.
They made a movie about it. It's called A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe.
Did I see it? I think that's one of those cult movies I should have seen and I didn't. Yeah. Right, okay.
But yeah, he came up with the Nash equilibrium, which is like instead of everybody going for the main goal, why doesn't everybody separate and go for the smaller goal so everybody can be happy and nobody's the full winner?
Right.
Yeah, so he worked it out when him and his friends were trying to pick up chicks at a bar.
Yeah.
And they're all going to go and they were like, the strongest survives. Like they were saying shit like that. He's like, wait, no, there's a better way. And then he came up with this like mathematical equation and they use it in peace treaties and shit like that.
We did that in hunter-gatherer tribes years ago.
Yeah,
where the hunters were sent out, the men, to go and get the meat, right? Because it was the man who got back with the meat who got laid.
Yeah,
and so before they stepped back into the village or the home or whatever you want to call it, they divvied up the meat so they didn't know who caught it, so everyone got a root. It's a fucking beautiful system.
It is beautiful. And it works, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be good in government and shit like that. Like, I'm not a voter. You know, that sounds bad. But I don't vote because I feel like there's a better way. But then I think things like maybe that's not for now, though. You know, like...
Well, there's something to be said about not voting and something to be said about voting. Again, another fence topic for me. So I don't think voting should be compulsory.
Of course.
Because that means you're forcing people who don't educate themselves to vote, right?
Yeah.
And so they're either going to do a donkey vote, which doesn't get counted anyway, where they just label 1 through whatever in chronological order, or they vote Kylie Minogue, fucking whoever you want to be, and the vote doesn't get counted. So you're forcing someone who doesn't know what they're doing to go to the fucking polls.
And guess vote.
Yeah,
know?
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's shit.
That's shit. Yeah.
And then you've got the people who are voting. I think it should not be compulsory, because then only the people who care and do their research. There should even be maybe an political exam before you even can vote to see if you've got the fucking means to be able to vote.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the moment there's certain, I do vote, but I feel like I just get a political figure. When I say political figure, it's not a politician. It's a person who knows more about politics than me and use their guidance, because I don't want to do all of the research.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things.
I did the research and I came to a conclusion that... Like,
and you're like, all of these policies are dog shit.
I was like, why don't they just work together? Like both sides. Instead of like you have to pick one, why don't they just unite and work as one so we can have someone to vote for? Is that it? Like, or could you, like, because you don't want to dictate it, but you could vote, like, because it's either the businesses are getting fucked over or the people are getting fucked over. Where it's like, and also like people, like they had this thing called work choices back in the day that came out, and it was like, I think it was John Howard or something like that. He was deciding he wanted to make different contracts for different workers, so to take away their rights a little bit. Right. So like your boss could go, no more of this and no more of this kind of thing, take things out. But and that's the business side. like looking after the businesses, where like that was fucking over the workers a bit, you know? I was like, what? So then they went, all right, John Howard got voted out probably because of it. And then later on, the next Liberal guy came in and started fucking basically doing the same thing without announcing it, you know, like just like passing it. And I was like, Jesus. But like the thing is like, it's not that bad because it's good for business, man. Business pay your salaries and shit like that. So like I'm kind of like on both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like if I had to choose, I couldn't. Like I want my. It's like at work, right? I want to make my boss money, enough money to justify paying me the wage that I get paid.
Yeah.
So I work hard and I do a good job.
Yeah.
And I spend years getting good at it and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I can kind of like say, pay me extra money, and he'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, because you're worth it and you're bringing it in. Yeah.
Which is a very like liberal way of looking at things. Whereas like, but I still don't think people who are learning or fucking aren't as good should be getting paid as much as me. So like I'm kind of on board with it, but I'm also like, nah, but it should be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Well, fairness, I think experience definitely should come into the amount that a person should get paid. I mean, someone who's entering the job sector or employment entry-level position or whatever, they're unlikely they're going to be able to be pulling in as much money as someone who's been in the position for 10 years. But then it's also on the flip side is that young new workers can come in with new ideas and a fresh perspective and actually show up the older workers. It's all case by case basis. I mean, I'm in a role where there's 50 of us in a call center inbound role in sales, and we all have the same base wage, but then the commission is based on how much you sell.
Yeah, that's
and
good,
to me, that's a perfect system.
That is, yeah.
It's like your individual remuneration is based on how much money you're making the company.
Yeah, it's good.
And I think that's fantastic.
That's
that's why I find it really odd when I go into a retail store and someone's hammering me to buy something and I'm thinking, you're not working for commission. Why are you trying so hard?
Yeah, true.
And some of these retail people have KPIs with no reward.
Oh, wow. That's
Where's
rough,
the
man.
fucking incentive?
What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Wow, we've really gotten into government and work right now. But it's true. Yeah, all of that's fucking solid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Whoever thought it? Have we ever talked about this in real life?
No, we
Never.
haven't. We always go on tangents about random shit.
Yeah, we do. We
do. Yeah. No, it's good. Cheers to that.
Cheers. You're a great podcaster.
And thank you. Likewise.
Awesome.
Drinking my non-alcoholic margarita. Let's see what this tastes
I'm also
like.
drinking non-alcoholic drinks for censorship reasons. Yeah. So
I overpaid for that. That's for fucking sure.
So you do dark comedy, which I fucking love.
I do.
It's pretty damn good what you do.
Well, there's a few dark jokes that I think it's important to have. My whole goal is to actually get to the point where I've written so much material and honed it all, and it's timeless stuff, not topical stuff, because that ages.
I noticed
so I
that
can
about your
draw
comedy.
on different sets for different reasons because, you know, I hope to be a professional working comedian in the future.
100%.
And I think I work. I don't want to say that I work hard. I think I work a reasonable amount, and so you know that's probably years down the track. And yeah, I think I'd love to keep doing dark shows every now and again. So have a dark section, have a corporate section, have maybe some men hating shit for some hens nights that I might do. Just like, oh my God, my ex-boyfriend, like that, you know, just that stuff, and have it all to draw on.
Yeah, word. I don't really have any proper PC jokes. I thought I did, but then apparently they're not. So.
Oh right, yeah.
Someone's like, no, that's not.
I guess there's two different types. If you think about it, though, there's two different types of dark jokes. There's dark jokes that are dark in that you're saying vile stuff. All of the controversial keywords that you're not allowed to say on television are there. And then you've got the dark jokes that are based on implication, or you use a metaphor or a euphemism to get across something dark so the kids don't understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My thing is, though, and I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine, and she said, right, give me your feedback about the set that I just did.
Oh, wow.
And I went, all right, I think every single one of your punchlines is sexual, and I find that exhausting.
Oh,
so
what?
we've reached the point of our friendship where
You
we're
can have
able, we can have that conversation. And that's still a part of my own writing that I want to squash, because I was a dirty-brained little kid. I was swearing as early as I could.
Yeah.
It was just in the gutter straight away, right? Because that's just how my mind works. And so now I want to try and do a lot more cleaner stuff, because if it doesn't matter what the joke is, first and foremost, as long as it's funny, but then you've got certain jokes you can't do at certain rooms, yada, yada. So I explained to her, why don't you challenge yourself? I said, you're piss funny.
Yeah.
You not every single one of your punchlines needs to be dirty. And so whether or not she's going to try that out, because it's all our own personal journey.
Yeah.
We can listen to advice. We don't have to take it. But it's all, I don't know. So, yeah.
Everyone I ask for advice for just says, keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, fucking, you know, all the pros I ask.
You know what I've started doing?
What's that?
I've started asking the crowd what is wrong with the joke.
Yeah, real.
And I do that at rooms like Dirty, for instance, when there's not that many people in there.
Yeah, well, I usually, like, if I'm saying something that's too dark and I can see people are upset, I point it out. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want to ruin your night. Do you want me to stop this, bro? And they'll be like, oh, no, you can keep going. I was like, all right, you sure? Because I don't want to upset you or nothing.
So would you consider doing open mics, and if a joke falls flat, you ask the crowd, why don't you like that joke?
I'll give it a go.
You'll give it a go.
Yeah.
You've got to put your ego and your feelings aside. For instance, if I wasn't feeling very emotionally resilient, I wouldn't do it. Because it's like even someone saying you're a poo-poo head is going to make me sad. So you've got to see where you are as a person or in your mood to ask the question. Because if you're, I don't know, I think people appreciate honesty, and it's someone that you don't know. And I feel like they're likely to be able to answer you straight off the bat as someone who actually doesn't know you. Yeah. So they can go, well, this is what I got from it.
Yeah,
you know?
True. Yeah, I did what was it? Bergie on Monday.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got this new joke about how Asian people are the master race.
Okay.
Right. And I'm doing this joke and a lot of people are laughing. But there's just like, I can see down the end of the bar, just this like chick, just furious.
Okay.
Right. And I'm like, oh God, this chick is furious. I'm like, but I don't care. You know, fuck her. Everyone else is laughing. Not only that, as soon as I said Asian people are the master race, Hung Lee goes, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And Hung Lee came up to me after. Who's an Asian guy, by the way, just so we know. And he came up to me afterwards. He was like, we are the master race. I was like, I know. Yeah, that's why I wrote the joke.
See, I don't know where the point of controversy is there. Is that there's some people...
The chick booed me at the end of it.
Well, some people don't... Sorry, you go.
Yeah, and then after the boo, she went up and told Glenn Zen, he's racist. You should never put him on again. But it was only that chick that was upset. The rest of the people got it.
Aren't you complimenting Asians by saying they're the master race?
Yeah, but I also say they're bad at driving.
So that's a stereotype that's up to every Asian not to perpetuate.
Yeah, but like, yeah, fuck it. It wasn't even
necessarily... As a blonde, I have to perpetuate not being dumb. We all have to try and not perpetuate stereotypes.
Yeah. Oh, like, why bother? Does it matter? Like, you got to hear the joke. Well, next time we do a gig together, I'll do it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, that joke hasn't bombed yet. Like, since the first time I've written it, that joke has never bombed. Not yet. I'm like, that's pretty good.
To me, it seems like a joke that from what you've told me from the joke, it seems like it could have already been done before, and I suspect it would have been done by Asian comedians, so they can actually get away with it. Because if you notice, you're allowed to roast your own race, but no one else is.
Yeah, but I can do what I want.
Yeah. That comes with consequences, though.
I don't mind, yeah.
You don't. Well, if you don't mind, then there's no problem. But if you mind, then it's a problem.
I don't mind. Yeah. Because I've worked it out. Like, I'm happier if I'm just saying whatever the fuck I want, and people can tell I'm having a good time if I'm not holding back anything.
Okay.
And I feel like because of that, this joke hasn't bombed, and it's funny. Like, it's because I'm happy. It's funny. And, like, I know, like, there's probably, like, a few little punchlines that need a little bit of work, which I'm changing every time. Like, there's just one bit that doesn't land every time. And it's, like, so I've changed it a couple of times to try sort it out. But generally, it's so far, like, worked in every room. Not only that, like, Asian people have come up to me afterwards, said, that's fucking sick. Indian people have come up to me afterwards and gone, what about Indians?
Why can't you roast me too?
In saying that, a white person came up to me and goes, they are fucking shit at driving. And I was like, oh, Jesus, bro. I was like, I don't need that. You didn't get the joke, buddy.
Yeah.
You didn't get the joke. I'm not saying that they're bad at driving. I'm saying give white people the stereotype of being good at driving. We need a good one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's a good spin on it.
Yeah,
that's a good
because all white people's stereotypes are like racist, bigots, shit at dancing.
Yeah.
And Asian people good at math. And like they build I'll show you the joke.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. No, but that's a good spin, having it going, sorry, what's my train of thought again? There's always going to be people who are going to hate, okay, what annoys me, it doesn't annoy me, it's just life. There's always going to be people who don't like you.
Yeah,
it doesn't
100%.
matter what you do and what you say.
Yeah.
They don't like your energy and they're going to hate on you for whatever reason. Those people need to be ignored.
I know, yeah.
There's also people who, and this is the majority of people, I think, that if they don't like you straight up, it's your job as the entertainer to schmooze them. Yeah. And that's why I like to try, and it's like foreplay. You need to put in some time, hopefully more than 4 minutes, put in some time to get them to like you.
Yeah.
And then you can actually get away with saying something that you wouldn't have gotten away with saying at the start of the set.
100%.
There's timing that's important. There's delivery that's important. There's also intention. I think if they have decided that you're not a bad person, you know, but you sort of got to prove that in some way.
I've got 5 minutes to do a joke.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing little rubes. Like easily with an hour show,
yeah,
I'll get everybody on my side like within the first like fucking 5-10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but like when I'm doing I got like a 5-minute spot and I want to practice this joke. And I'm like, look, this isn't going to be at the start of my hour. You know, this is going to be later, but I still got to practice that joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it's hard because there's Altham on a Thursday where you get to do 10 minutes. There's that open mic. Most open mics, you don't actually get 10 minutes.
Yeah, except for my older rooms and fucking...
Your rooms are the greatest. I'm so glad you're doing Bendy again.
Yeah. Come to the Bendigo Hotel October 2nd.
October 2nd.
Yeah.
That's
it'll
a
be
Sunday,
great.
yeah?
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Yeah,
But everyone keeps telling me to do the rooms, but the people that run the Bendy messaged me the other day and they were like, do you want to do another Bendy? And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Just bring the crew back together.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And you're doing it every now and again as well.
Yeah, I might do it every now and then.
Yeah, no, that's perfect because just it's randomly. Not a huge amount of work for you.
Yeah.
Because that, I could not deal with the bullshit of running a room.
It's horrible.
I don't have the spine to actually say no to people that I would want to say no to.
Yeah. I think my one was like, I had so many amazing acts wanting to get up. And it's like, well, I've got to pick the amazing acts first. And then it's like, that I've got like maybe a spot for 2 open micers, sometimes 1. And they're furious at me. Like, cause I'm like, yeah, I'll put you up sooner or later. But like down the line, like I've got heaps that I got to go through.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And if one and I always pick the ones that are like smashing or the ones that I think are funny.
Yeah.
You know, I was always like, dude, he's doing dark shit. And it's a dark room. Like my rooms are generally for dark comedy. So I like pick the darker ones, and then like if a PC dude's like, "Can I get up?" It's like, "Oh, I don't think you're gonna handle my room very well."
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have a bunch of like pro comedians doing their darkest material kind of shit, and then you're gonna get up and go, "What about the fucking tram system?"
Yeah.
Like,
Now, so my question would be, where do you think your intense fascination with dark comedy actually comes from?
you want to know?
Because I just like good comedy, and some of it's dark. And mine's all about the joke, not about the category. But I do tend to lead towards comedians who they're not going for shock, but they're happy to approach things that other comedians aren't, sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, what is it?
Mine was when I was a kid, life wasn't that great, and then someone put me in front of a TV, put in a video of Eddie Murphy's Delirious, and it saved my life. It also, like, after that, I was like...
Give it up for the bus boys.
Hey,
they fuck everything that moves.
Yeah.
Come to my house, the fish stop swimming.
Yeah, but it made my life, and, like, I needed it. And then after that, like, I started kind of telling jokes as my defense mechanism to, like, talk to people. Like, because before that, I was kind of, like, quiet, drew a lot, you know, like, I was just, like, and scared of everything, you know, like, and then, like, this, for good reason.
Yeah.
And then I seen this humor that was just
He's light too, though.
Yeah, but like now he's light. That back in the day, he was known for being like the darkest fucking fucked up comedian. Like, just watch some of his other stuff.
Yeah, it's still, I don't know, even with the darkest people, there are light stuff in there because it's a journey. It's like... Imagine seeing an action movie where it was... So you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Have you seen the end scene where the hippies come up the driveway and Brad Pitt fucking
kills
nukes them all, right?
It's fucking great.
Imagine that whole movie where it was just that scene. You need contrast.
I do have that contrast in my jokes. They're just like... It's called saving the cat. I keep telling everybody about this. It's a way that people write movie scripts.
Okay.
If you want an arsehole, he's got to say something nice first. Or like save some cats, and he can be an asshole because he's a good guy because he saved the cats. I do it in my jokes. Every single joke I've got has got a save the cat moment.
Okay.
Every single one. It's me like trying to like explain why I'm thinking this in not a fucking bad way.
Yeah.
You know, it's most of my jokes are me doing that.
Right. Okay.
But and if I do a dark room, some people will be like, "Why'd you say that?" And I'll be like, "Fuck it. It's not for you, that bit."
Yeah. Well, it's interesting watching, for instance, I forget the name of his show, but I watched recently Ricky Gervais's last special on Netflix, and he does a lot of prefacing. And so what he's doing is he's talking about irony and he's talking about the joke that he's about to tell. And he explains why the joke's okay for him to tell, tells the joke, and then explains a normal reaction people would have and whatever. And he has to explain comedy. And the reason why he's doing it is because he's sick of people constantly message him saying you're insensitive, you're misogynist, you're this, you're that. And he's like, I'm not. And it pisses me off because to me, I mean, he gives so much money to charity.
Loves animals.
He loves animals, adores them. I think he's amazing. To me, he's a creative genius.
Yeah, fucking definitely.
And the fact that there's people who can't see his character and what he's actually trying to achieve with these jokes, it really annoys me. And so someone like me has to go, oh, okay. And you have to listen to probably 15, maybe 20 minutes of his whole hour show is him explaining comedy to people. Yeah. And I think it's annoying to me, but that's really handy because he's actually doing work for us.
Exactly.
He's saying why it's okay to be dark sometimes. I mean, most people are processing their trauma when they're being dark. You've said it yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
It's letting me fucking say what I say stuff just for fun. But it's mainly like shit that I find funny. You know, or like maybe sometimes I'll write a joke that's based around like something that people don't understand about me. And I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah.
You know, like things like that, but make it funny. Like there's a million different ways I write a joke. But yeah, the whole dark comedy thing. So it was like there was there was Eddie Murphy's Delirious, then Dave Chappelle. What is it? Dennis Leary. Before I found out he stole all his jokes.
Oh, okay.
Like, but these things would make me so fucking happy.
Yeah.
And like, it saved me as a young kid.
Aw.
And fucking, it's honestly, man, like I've been through some fucking horrific shit, and laughing about it's the thing that's gotten me through it. And then, and I just.
How else would you be a cop or an AMBO or a social worker for years?
Yeah. That's it. Well, people who work in those industries are hilarious, bro. I hang out like nurses are funny as fuck.
They've got crack jokes about it constantly. Just it's like
that's how you do.
You're trying to point out the light in a dark situation. It's not. But that's the thing, and that's
the only
what's so
way to get your head
important
around
about. But that's what's so important about delivery and writing the joke properly. Is so we're trying to convince people who don't understand what we're doing. What we're trying to show them what we're doing. Yeah,
it was kind of cool. Like I did this spot at Lantern Lounge or something like that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And Lucy Best was there with her kid.
Yeah,
and I did my bit, and Nikki Barry was trying to heckle me while I was doing it because she always tries to heckle me when I'm doing like sexist-ish jokes, and
playfully, playfully or borderline.
Oh, she's like trying to stop the joke, but like I had the answer for it already in the joke, so it was like, yeah, nice try, but I've already got this answer here. You know, like I write them so like meticulously that fucking but they'll get angry, and then I'll like bring them down. I'm like, no, but this is why, and then this is why, and this is why.
Patience.
Here's some more.
Here's some more. Yeah.
Here's some more fucked up shit. And, so I get off stage. Me and Nikki have a laugh about it because fucking I love like Nikki Barry's a good chick, and in the group chat. Lucy Best sends a little message that says, "My kid has never laughed so hard in his life at your jokes," and I was like, "Yes,
yeah."
That's kind of like it's like I'm helping little fucking people or like adults who need it. And I couldn't find any dark humor. There was like such big spaces in between, where like so it was like Eddie Murphy when I was a kid, then fucking Dennis Leary somewhere in my teenage life, then fucking.
The avenues to try and find people as well then when you only had your TV. This would have been a miracle that you found it.
Yeah, and like and it's like I was like, why? Why isn't there more of the comedy that I like? And then like then I found out why doing it. It's like because it's fucking hard to fucking do it. Get like no one's helping you when you're doing dark comedy if you're like a white guy. Like no one's backing you up. Everybody's like, nah, this you know, like, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get there. And then when it's like, I'll make it myself. I'll get there myself if I have to.
Yeah. It's just a double standard that I could get away with it more than you can just because I'm a woman. No,
but like women are the best comedians because of it. Like I keep saying it to if you watch all these podcasts, I've said it at least in like everyone, like women comedians can say whatever they want. And I love it. I fucking love it.
I think it's like a get out of jail free card though. If someone's only laughing at a joke because but fuck, there's using a tool and there's exploiting it. No, but I don't want to ever exploit a tool. I'm happy to use it. They still
do it smart. Like I'm not saying like they're just up there just. I think Nikki Barry does it a little bit, but like you, Tracy Armstrong, Katie Wainhouse, very intelligent writers. You know, like just fucking perfectly written. There's twists in it. You've done everything right. Like, but you can say whatever you want as well. So it's like,
I think we all do something similar is that there's a little bit of prefacing. So setting the joke up. It's not, again with the lube and the foreplay. Things need to be set up.
Think we're going to have a quick break?
Yes.
All right, sweet. All right, we'll see you in a second. We'll be back. There's a little sketch for you.
So I went number poos in the shower the other night. Not on purpose. I'm not some kind of weirdo. I was like 50% sure it was a 5. And I figured, hey, why not? Let's just roll these dice. You think I would have given a damn, but I didn't. 0 funks given. Toilet water and shower water all go to the same place, the ocean, where all the dolphin aquatic Bill Cosbys live. I just pictured one of my tubes slowly floating through the water, smacking him directly in the middle of the head while he was planning his next horrible act.
Oh my God, it got me right in the face.
And he was like,
Oh, with the pooping and the swimming and the bad life decisions, I gotta try and be a better person.
In this story, my poop's a hero. And I think what I'm trying to say here is pretty simple. My bunghole magically wiped itself. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm Stingray Thunder. Pop, pop, pop.
Yo, 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 we're back to the Stingray Thundercast with JESS PEARMAN. Oh, fuck yeah. That was a good break. Nice little pee break. I pissed too much, I know.
Yeah, stock standard break.
Yep. All fun. So anyway, man, how's your week been?
Week's good. Nothing to report really. I got back from Byron Bay in Darwin a couple of weeks ago and I feel reset.
Oh, nice.
I came back and I just went, I want to save more money, stop spending money on bullshit. I've just been, I don't know, I feel like I've been a little bit more level-headed and it makes perfect sense. There's a reason why there's people who they say that they're addicted to camping. Because I didn't camp in Byron, but I camped in Darwin and it's the best reset. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Melbourne sucked for weather for a while, so having 32 degrees every day and then swimming in springs.
That sounds lovely.
It was so cool. We were in this spring and then there are crocs upstream, but they've got traps, so you generally don't have to worry about them coming down generally.
That's risky business.
Yeah. But we're sitting there, we're all just sitting on these noodles and just floating. And this water monitor pops its head up with a yabby in his mouth.
A water monitor?
Yeah. So a monitor, like those big water lizards.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And he pops his head up and he's got a yabby and he doggy paddles to the side and he jumps out. I wasn't expecting, he was over 1 metre long, runs up a tree with his catch.
Holy shit.
They're just all these tourists and stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he was only about maybe 5 metres away from me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I barely see any wildlife. It's like you see all those all memes usually from Americans saying, why would you live in Australia? Everything just wants to hunt you and eat you and kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, not in the capital cities. But yeah, Darwin was awesome. There was wildlife everywhere.
Oh,
you
nice.
could find a lizard on every single tree.
No shit.
It
sounds lovely.
It was great. Yeah. I love camping.
Yeah.
Love it.
Byron Bay is
it.
lovely too. Like I lived there for like 6 months when I was like, I think 16 to 17.
It's definitely, it's the first time that I've been there, but from what everyone tells me, it's changed a lot. And it was very commercialised. I walked into this bamboo shop because I didn't bring enough leggings and I wanted to buy some more. And I tried on these leggings, they were all right. And I look at the price tag, they're $150.
Holy shit.
And then I get really annoyed at retail workers when they try and make you feel bad for not making the purchase and trying to make you look like an asshole or you're cheap or whatever.
Yeah.
So being guilt-tripped by this passive-aggressive tanned lady for not buying $150 leggings, I got this big, you see these leggings that I'm wearing? I've had them for 2 years. They're still really good quality. The ones that you're wearing right now, they're from China.
Oh, man.
Just went, have a nice day, mate.
Yeah, I would have snapped. I don't know how people deal with that shit. Oh. I think the cool thing is like people don't go me like that because I look scary already. You know? It must suck being a woman, being like fucking hassled. You know,
I'm a woman, so I'm moody.
Yeah.
And so every now and again, I just have this lucidity and this speed, this quick wit every now and again. And if someone pushes me when I'm in that state, I'm relentless.
Yeah,
I'm not going to show any compassion in that situation. I'm just going, and it's not like I'm going to be overly aggressive or rip someone's head off or something, but I will defend myself and I will stand my ground.
Nice.
Every now and again I'm in that mode. But when I'm not, I fold. Actually, I have had this conversation a lot with a lot of people and just getting other people's take on it. I find that, every single conversation that you have with someone is a power exchange, right?
I guess.
And there's people who give away all of their power and there's people who they don't give away their power, and there's other people who take it. And other people
give
who
away
don't.
your power, what do you mean? Like giving away too much about yourself, or just like
when you give someone the power, that could be an example of that. Could be, just say we're having a discussion and we disagree, or I find out that you disagree with me, and then in that moment I go, oh, and I quickly change my opinion, or I go back on what I said because you disagreed with me. Yeah. That's giving away my power instead of backing myself in that moment. Yeah. And it's interesting because you should have a certain level of self-respect that you don't give away your power. But in moments of you not feeling resilient, you should be able to, especially with your close mates, if you've got good mates and they won't exploit it. Yeah. It's sort of like, you know, if you're really, really vulnerable, you would hope that the person that you're talking to wouldn't exploit that for anyway.
True that, right.
Yeah. And then that, it just makes my mind go in so many different crazy places. For example, one of my fears is being dumb or looking dumb. And I don't know where I get that fear from. There's something that I noticed that I do recently that I think is what it is. And I ask a lot of dumb questions. And the reason why the questions are dumb is because if I had more patience, I would be able to answer the question myself if I just waited another second, but I just blurt out and ask it. Sometimes I'm halfway through asking someone a question, and halfway through it, I've already figured out the answer, and it's usually an obvious answer. Yeah. And so depending on the person that you have that interaction with, if they're going to be someone who takes your power, they might go, this is the answer, obviously, you fucking idiot, and make you feel small. Or they're going to go, it's this, and then just get on with their day.
I get you.
And so a lot of people, you know, that's one of the factors of me choosing friends is how they respond in such situations.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, and it's like, I also think that if someone has a belief about you, and this can also stem from audience members making opinions about you when they're watching your comedy, some of them you can change their opinion, some of them you can't.
True.
And I remember I had this old boss, and she was very insecure woman. She was vocal about it. She was catty towards her partner's ex-partner who also worked there, and didn't like any of the younger girls that worked there. She was sexually threatened by us all.
Like from earlier.
Yeah. And would respond she was just awful. And so she matured eventually and we became friends. But I think that she would try and make me look dumb, and she would set up situations where she could make me look dumb.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And even if I took too long to answer a question, she'd dismiss me or whatever it was, and it would make me so annoyed because I knew that she was doing that on purpose. But then it was a feedback loop. Yeah. She could make me feel stupid, and then I would feel stupid. Like I don't have rock solid self-worth, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well,
I should be able to love myself unconditionally, but I don't think I'm there.
Mine's pretty good. I care. I love
That's great. Yeah, that's fucking great.
It's weird though. Like people think it's like an ego, but it's like no. It's like I like myself.
Yeah, it's
I put a lot of work into being this great.
I've been through some shit.
Not only that, like the amount of effort that like it's taken me to fucking be a better person.
Yeah.
And learn and fucking pay attention and get like just try as hard as I can to fucking be good at something.
Yeah.
And then when I'm good at it, I'm like, oh, I'm good at something. I'm happy about this. And like I believe in myself and shit. And
that's great. Yeah. And I'd love to feel that way. And I hope that I can feel that way in the future.
Yeah. Oh, you will.
It's a spectrum, right? I remember another similar situation where I saw someone else doing that to himself, but it affected me. So tell me what you think about this. There was this little fucker called Frank at a different warehouse that I worked at. And I'm even clenching my fist thinking about him.
I
fucking
can
hell.
see, yeah.
He was a victim for every single reason possible. And he made it very evident very quickly that he didn't like women, or specifically he actually said all women are out to get me. My wife is out to get me. She's holding my kids from me. My mum's out to get me. So I learned a little bit that about him in the beginning, but it had nothing to do with me at that point. But then as you start working with someone, things start getting annoying. You start learning people's personalities and whatever. Anyway, I ended up feeling like I wanted to get him.
So he was asking for it.
I wanted to get him. I wanted to grab him by the ears and go, "You're so fucking pathetic."
So in other words, he's created his own.
He has created it.
Yeah, he's
right.
He's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and it pissed me off because I actually had to walk away from the situation and fucking have a breather in the corner because I don't want to be nasty to people and I don't want to hurt anyone, and I fucking wanted to hurt him, you know. And that's another thing about power exchange again, I think, is that I think there's some people who can absorb other people's energies and people who can't, or they're blocked off from it.
All right.
And that can be an energetic form of empathy.
Yeah,
you know? And so I think I'm empathetic, but I think I'm more empathetic on an energetic level than on an intellectual level.
Yeah.
And I say that because I get vibes from people, and I know, you know, that's normal, but mine feels really deep. It's like if someone's in pain and they're next to me, I'm feeling it, and my whole body's like,
yeah.
And so I don't know what the point of that whole conversation was, but I find it annoying that other people can affect me so strongly in the most trivial of circumstances. I mean, we worked in a warehouse. We were fucking pickpackers. Yeah. And then I'm having these really intense interactions with people. It's like, it shouldn't be like this.
There's this thing about like that men have where it's bullying, yeah? Like male bullying kind of thing. It's like a weird thing. But when I was young, I was always really big. So like, all right, so I used to go to different schools all the time. So I went to this new school and everyone was bullying this kid. And I was like, no more bullying him. And like I decided I was going to, instead of going with the popular kids, I'll go with like the bullied kid.
Yep.
And just have his
the
back.
Underdog.
Yeah, the underdog. I was like, yeah, I'll go hang out with this dude. And then after hanging out with him for like a month, I realized that this kid's an asshole. Like this kid is just the biggest dickhead I've ever met. And like I went around his house and he was like trying to rub in the fact that like I was poor kind of thing and like doing all this weird shit. And I was like, I picked the wrong side here. But I realized like sometimes people need to be bullied because someone hasn't taught them how to live properly, like how to act properly. So they're out there and it could kill them one day. Like they could
Definitely.
They could be a dick to like some fucking crazy psycho gangster. And then that dude fucking just finishes them.
Yep.
You know, like
they all could also be someone who got bullied by a parent and then hasn't learned the cyclic nature of abuse where the abusee can become the abuser. Yeah. And sometimes you've got to bully the bullying out of someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking weird. Like there's this guy. So like, there's this guy that I worked with once and he had glasses. And like, I think his whole life, people have been bullying him about his glasses, you know, because they're real thick. Like, and like, he was always trying to be the cool guy with the glasses kind of thing. But like, the more you got to know the dude, it's like, dude, you were just the most annoying human being on the fucking planet. Like, just hanging out with you.
Yeah.
It's hard to fucking deal with you.
Still 10 points to you giving these people the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you got to try. But but I was working with the dude, so I was just forced. This dude would like snitch on you to the boss, like do all this weird shit. And his whole life, he's thought that people were bullying him about the glasses. But the truth is they were bullying him about the glasses because he's a dumb cunt.
Yeah,
he's a piece of shit. And it's like, but for his whole life, he's been thinking it's the glasses. So I started saying shit to him like, you shouldn't snitch on people at work. Like, and like, it wasn't even doing things wrong. It was just things that he wanted people to be doing. Like, it was like a power play kind of thing. Yeah. And like, there's also this weird thing that men do that I only worked out like in my late 20s. But like if a man's intimidated by another man, and your friends, he'll fuck with them. Like the little like short people used to fuck with me a lot, and I was like, "Why are you acting like this? Like we're friends. Like what's going on?" Like, and
is that? Do you think that would be small man syndrome as well?
Kinda, yeah, but it's an alpha thing. So like people like see someone that's big and tall, and I'd never thought about alpha in my whole life. Never even crossed my mind. And then I found out that like this guy really wants to be the alpha. Like he'll say it sometimes and shit. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm alpha dog and you can't like fuck it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
If anyone is saying that they're alpha,
they're not alphas.
That's already
Instantly.
No. And alpha isn't a fucking label. It's a being. It's a knowing, and it's a not advertising. Yeah, I can remember someone trying to tell me that there were he showed me 3 different types of males, and he says there's alpha A, alpha B, and beta. And he made me read the categories and said, which one do you think I am? And I
Jesus.
I said, you're alpha B. And he's like, I'm alpha A. And I said, which was obviously the best one. Yeah. And I said, alpha A's don't have to walk around telling people they're alpha A's, right? Yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with alpha B? I said, they think they're alpha A's and they're really insecure. Hello?
Yeah. But like, this is the thing. These people are always like, every once in a while, it'd just be a guy treating me like shit. That's my friend. And then I end up unfriending the dude. I never know why. I'm always like, why is this guy always doing this shit to me? Like, it's like, I'm trying to be friends with him. And like, we are friends. And it's like, why do you keep fucking with me?
It feels like a tremendous lack of communication or a lack of intelligence in them being able to express what it is that they have a problem with.
Yeah, I think it's just insecurities, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they feel like they'll get more women if they're alpha. That's a real big thing. It's like, dude,
you'll get more people will get more women or more men or whatever it is that you're after by being okay with yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you're the kind of person who's looking for a specific trait in a person being insecure.
Yeah.
And that's sad if someone's looking to be with someone who's insecure.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I kind of feel like I need, like if I was ever going to settle down with someone, they can't be like fully together in the head.
I feel that too because we're too weird for normal people.
I'll be fucking strange, like
yeah.
And then like they'll be like, you're doing weird shit. I'm like, yes. Yes, this is weird. I know, I'm a weird guy. Like, if I went with, like, some full, like, normal run-of-the-mill fucking chick, and I've done it.
You'd actually get bored, though.
Yeah.
You would get bored, and they would get freaked out.
What happens is they get depressed, right? Because I've done this before. I went out with a chick for, like, a year and a bit. They get depressed. They keep telling me I need to change. And then so for a while, this is the first time it happened. And then I was like, oh, maybe I need to change. And then I started changing, and then I got depressed. And then, like, I realized what was going on. I was like, hold up. I was happy before this. She's turned me into someone that I'm not. And, like, I got to get out of this. And I just broke up with her and shit. But, like, I've worked out, like, chicks always try to change me. And then I say to them, I'm happy. Are you happy? And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, who needs to change?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm happy with me. I know what I need to do to be happy, and I'm doing it. And they're like, no, but I don't like the fact that I'm like, ugh.
Then you don't like me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you hate me. Yeah. It's like, and you're angry because you hate me and you're going out with me. I get it. I've broken up with chicks solely because of the fact that they don't realize they hate me. You know, like it's happened a few times. Like they're like, I love you. I'm like, no, you're obsessed with me, right? You actually don't like, you don't want me to fucking do comedy. Well, you don't want me to rap at the time. You know, you don't want me to hang around with my friends.
Yeah.
You don't want me to fucking do it. And I'm like, all these things are me.
That's a specific kind of woman or partner that I get annoyed at. If someone is, for example, let's just say you start going out with a muso and then after a while you're like, honey, do you need to go to another gig? You've already done 2 gigs. Do you have to do this? And that is a fucking gateway question to hell.
Yeah.
And people who stay with partners like that, they're trying to stifle you creatively. They're trying to block you off from your friends and all. And I can't stand that stuff because blocking someone off from their friends, I mean, that's another form of happiness. Don't you want your partner to be happy?
Yeah, with their friends
and also,
shit.
don't you want to see your partner crush at whatever it is they do?
Right? Yeah.
If they're a creative, if they're an academic, if they're an athlete, whatever they are, it's been shown that if you witness your partner in their element, that is an element of what keeps a longevity in relationships.
Yeah, nice.
And that's why I find it so weird when a partner goes out with someone who's that amazing at whatever it is that they do and then tries to keep them at home.
Yeah, it's fucking
It's
weird,
like,
yeah.
it's fucking backwards to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. I know you got a gig, so we got to wrap this thing up. That was another 20 minutes. We smashed this thing out.
Nice.
Yep, you're amazing, Jess. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on the pod.
Yeah,
You are the best.
You too. I'll do
Good.
this again in a
Cheers.
year. Cheers.
Hell yeah, I'll get chocolate for a year. All right. Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Stingray Thundercast. Prop, prop.